Marvel television has been a hit or miss lately. We know that. We're not gonna repeat it. I think the conversation is old and uninspired. Some stuff has been really great, some stuff are okay. You know, you don't have to be the target audience for everything, I think. The way I see it now, Marvel television is like comic book volumes or comic book runs. There are stuff for everybody, and you're not gonna like everything. That's just impossible. Even like when the movies were good, you know, that golden era. You've had people who weren't fans of Ant-Man or Guardians of the Galaxy, and that was fine, you know? So you definitely can't, you have more freedom now to pick and choose what you see. That said, it's finally here. Sorry, it's been a while, okay? It's been 8 years and it's now here. And I've watched it. And it was something. Yeah, let's just get into it. If you had high hopes for a certain character, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I can't defend you anymore. I feel like everybody and their mother basically guessed what was going to happen. So I'm not gonna stall any longer. We're gonna have to talk about it. We're gonna have to address the tragic elephant in the room, you guys. Especially because it was in the first 16 minutes of the episode, and there's no way around it. We're gonna have to talk about it, unfortunately. Man, I wanted to be proven wrong so badly. But of course, why am I always like, whenever I'm right, it's always like something I don't want to be right about. And because it happened in the first 16 minutes of the episode, you can't really go around it. So we're gonna have to talk about it. And I have so many things to say. As a flawed person, I suck at avoiding spoilers. I like to pretend I'm good at it. I'm not. And my eyes just find the spoiler and immediately seek it out. I don't know. So a while back when they were shooting, there were certain pictures that leaked from set. You know that river in Egypt?
Denial is a river in Egypt!
And it happens when you just don't want to believe that what you're seeing is going to happen. It happened with multiple shows before where we've seen BTS of character deaths, like big character deaths. And we were like, maybe it's not like that, you know? Maybe it will be some kind of subversion that we've never really seen before. But it's always accidentally leaking, and it just pisses me off that as creators they fall into that trap every single time. Like, it's not even a surprise at this point whenever like a huge character dies. But anyway, I saw those BTS pictures of Foggy lying on the floor from that first scene, and people were like, maybe that's, you know, maybe there's a small chance that this is not going to happen. But I mean, come on. But it happened, and he's dead, and we need to talk about it.
No, I'm still sad. It didn't work.
I have beef with, you know, writers. It's hard to pinpoint like what went wrong here, like whose decision it was, but it's really hard for me when there's a comeback, like there's a big comeback, and like they promise that beloved characters are coming back to us only to have them there for show. They were literally there for 30 seconds. Like, it's that meme where it's like, do you know you have 30 minutes?
Do you know you have 30 minutes? 30, yes.
But instead of 30 minutes, it's 3 minutes, because that's how long we've had Karen, Foggy, Poindexter for. I would have rather not have had them at all in the new series, and have had like the original series as my treasure, my point of reference, and for everything that I like about the show. I would have rather had them there, existing forever in that bubble, instead of like dragging them into the universe. And like, sure, they made their MCU universe debut, but at what cost really. To me, the choice of killing off Foggy, it's weak. Like I can't even justify it. There's no scenario where that's a good decision or a good choice. For one, it shows that you can't write a good gripping story like you did the first time, by the way, without having some sort of cataclysmic event, as they've called it, which is a crutch basically. So you have to rely on something big to happen to draw in new viewers, which is something that you don't need to do at all. Daredevil has its fans. It doesn't need new fans. Like, the old fans have been there since the beginning and will continue to be there. And let's not pretend that killing a beloved character serves the new fans in any way. Like, I just can't justify it. I don't see the point of that. Furthermore, it doesn't really serve Matt as a character. Matt does everything for Foggy and Karen. He puts on the suit even when he doesn't want to, for Foggy and Karen, to protect them. If you take Foggy away and Karen leave, he's not gonna want to do that, which, okay, it's in character that he spends the entire next year not fighting as Daredevil, but we know that he's gonna pick it up again, like, obviously. And when he does, it will be so confusing and out of character because there is no reason to do that anymore. Like, what city is he going to protect? Like, the city doesn't have Foggy and Karen anymore, and those were his last ties to the city. There will be no reason for him to protect it. Granted, we haven't really seen why he'll pick it up again, but those were my thoughts about that. I saw a tweet that said how the MCU watered down Matthew's mental illness, because we know that he struggled with depression and suicidal tendencies in season 3, and by having them skip a whole year after that, not showing his grief, not showing his depression, not showing anything else between him and Karen other than that confusing scene in the trial where they just tell us that they fought and didn't communicate without us, seeing it. I don't know, I feel like we should have at least got a glimpse of that. Instead, we have a time skip that introduces new characters, and I wish they actually introduced them. No, we're sort of thrown into the world, which is that's something that we enjoy as viewers, to not have information about new characters shoved down our throats, but a little bit of context would have gone a long way. You have this new cast of characters that almost feels like they don't have chemistry with each other. Kirsten and Matt, I like that. But that is largely because of the actors acting. Like, they're just really good at what they do. However, I didn't feel the same chemistry between Matt and his therapist friend. I forgot her name, but I didn't feel the chemistry there. I didn't feel the chemistry between him and Cherry, who's supposed to be this new investigator for him. I don't know if that's largely because of the coloring in the show. Like, one of my absolute favorite things about the Marvel Netflix series was the coloring and the lighting, and how impossibly beautiful those lightings were in the original series. And I feel like that's missing from the new series. Sure, we did get a lot of shots that were cool. Cinematography, I really have nothing to complain about there. We had some really nice frames. The coloring in the riots and stuff, that was good with the smoke and everything. But the coloring of, like, the basic scenes, the ones in the firm, Fisk and Matt's meeting, that felt completely lackluster to me. I don't know if that's intentional to, like, show how far we've strayed from Hell's Kitchen. We're not there anymore. We're in, like, cold New York. But I don't know. I feel like the Avengers 2012 had better coloring than that. Hawkeye had better coloring than that. So I don't know. I don't know if it's intentional. I don't think it was. Another beautiful thing about the series now is the music direction. And I'm not talking about the songs in the middle of the episodes. I'm talking about the reworked soundtrack. I don't know if that's the right word for it. Reworked, rearranged, reproduced. I don't know. But the soundtrack of the intro is magnificent. Like, the addition of the choir, that's top tier. It's so good, and it's even more ominous now. And it fits the vibe. Like, Fisk is now more powerful than ever, so we need something that's haunting and makes us feel on edge. I love that. Chef's kiss, 10 out of 10. I saw some people speak about the CGI and the fights, and I have something to say about that. I don't think the focus was that first fight between Matt and Bullseye. I felt like the actual nitty-gritty of the actual gauge that we should judge is that last fight towards the end of episode 2. That felt more daredevil-y than all of the 2 episodes. My thoughts are all over the place, but you're here now, I'm yapping, you're not gonna... What are you gonna do? Are you gonna click exit? Do it. I feel like the first 20 minutes of Matt putting on his daredevil suit and like cruising through New York to get to, you know, the location. To me, that felt like a video game visually, and it was so obviously CGI and not the good one. Like, if I notice it, that means it's bad CGI because I never noticed these things. To me, that felt a lot like the last scene of No Way Home. And maybe that's a nod to that. Who knows? I'm willing to give grace because that's what we can do now. Yeah, but I'm optimistic about the fights. I'm optimistic. Also, we're gonna get Frank very soon, I think. So that's also gonna be something, and I'm so excited about that. I don't know if you can tell, but I love Frank so much. You guys, I feel like season 2 doesn't deserve all that hate. But mainly because I enjoyed Frank. To me, that was the best thing about season 2. So I'm really looking forward to seeing him and seeing how they interact now, because we never really got them interacting with them both knowing that the other knows about the other's identity, if that makes sense. What I will forever mourn is the lack of Karen and Frank. Again, I don't know why the fuck Karen isn't here anymore. Karen is his best friend. They have so many feelings for each other. It's insane. I don't know why they had to just like... It's so stupid. It's so stupid and it doesn't make sense. And I don't know. In terms of cameos, I don't know if we'll get one, and I really hate that the first thing that we wonder about now is whenever a Marvel project comes up is that was there a cameo? Who was in it? That said, I'm going to say it now in case it comes true. I feel like it's gonna be Kate Bishop. Like, Kate is gonna show up. I think so. I'm saying it. Like, I'm more confident of saying Kate than I am saying the next person. And that's Marky Mark. But hear me out. We have a Marvel executive named Brad Winderbaum, I don't know, saying that I would love to see Moon Knight season 2, but there are plans for Moon Knight down the road. So a season 2 is not currently in the work, but there will be more Moon Knight. I mean, we've seen him in What If, so that's done. But I think that they're secretly planning a street style fighter crossover, like a Midnight Suns type of crossover, especially because John Bernthal said that he's developing a Punisher series. So we've got our heroes. It's like very slowly we're getting them one at a time. So maybe there will be a scene down the line in Daredevil Born Again where he's just doing his thing, and maybe a croissant-shaped moon is just gonna, you know, be flying in the background. Who knows? Who knows? I'm just saying it now because 1, nobody watches me. 2, if that does happen, it will have been out there. So yeah, for me, my predictions: Kate, Mark. Initially, I was gonna say Clint, but again, I don't think that they want to focus on him anymore. So it'll definitely be Kate. What I would love though, maybe Ms. Marvel. I really don't know. I'm just like saying stuff now. So I will be watching religiously as soon as it drops because I'm actually excited. Like, I really want to see more of Matt and Fisk go toe to toe, and I've heard some good things from people who've watched it. Supposedly it is as dark, if not darker, than the original series, which is always a plus in my book. But yeah, if you've made it this far, tell me if you've seen it or not, or if you are planning to see it. If you haven't seen the original series, just go do that right now. And I'll see you when the next episode drops. Bye.